Good evening. First to a killer driver's appalling behaviour behind the wheel in the lead up to a fatal crash. A court's been told he was on his mobile phone a staggering 55 times, alternating between Google and social media apps, even online shopping, before ploughing into an innocent cyclist.
72-year-old grandfather John Dennis was just shy of his 50th wedding anniversary when he was struck and killed by Shannon Turner, whose ute ploughed into a group of cyclists near Port Pirie in October 2023. Mr Dennis's wife Julie and extended family watched on as the court heard Turner's phone was unlocked a staggering 55 times leading up to the fatal crash. The prosecutor said Turner spent the entire journey accessing and alternating between Instagram, Snapchat and Google Chrome, adding he was on Snapchat a staggering 48 times and Instagram on 13 occasions. But that's not all. He was taking photographs while behind the wheel, viewed 4 videos and was shopping for wireless chargers and car kits. This was not a once-off. His phone usage was sustained, flagrant, prolific and shocking. Ironically, at the time of the crash, there was an active police road safety campaign, Stop Flirting with Death, targeting the use of mobile phones while driving. Turner read a letter of apology, but there was no mention of his phone. Mr Turner, what were you thinking being on the phone so prolifically that day? How can you defend what you did? The court heard Turner didn't brake, take evasive action or leave a 1.5 metre clearance while passing the cyclist at 110 kilometres an hour. Julie Dennis said, "The hurt, the loneliness, the emptiness doesn't go away. The loss inflicted upon us will remain forever." He'll be sentenced at the end of the month. Deanna Williams, 7 News.
Federal police are investigating if a childcare worker charged with sexually abusing 136 children interstate also offended in South Australia. Lauren Rose joins us live. Lauren, he volunteered at a school in the APY lands.
He did, Will, sometime between 2009 and last year. 35-year-old Hamish Tate worked or attended at dozens of early childhood education facilities, predominantly in New South Wales. He's been charged with 329 offences involving 136 children. All allegedly occurred in that state, but the AFP has not ruled out offending here in SA. He worked at Amata Ananu School in the APY lands.
Any allegation involving the abuse of children is confronting and horrific, especially when it involves someone trusted to care for them. The abuse of trust we alleged has occurred is devastating and will have lifelong ramifications for victims and their families.
This has been a painstaking operation for the AFP, who say they've seized 25 devices from Tate containing 2.4 million files, including the alleged child abuse material. He remains in custody in New South Wales. Will.
Thank you, Lauren. The Stop the Chop campaign is in a major milestone, with organisers now gathering enough signatures to send their fight to Parliament. The petition could trigger an inquiry into the Premier's golf course and MotoGP legislation, while the state government says it's pressing ahead with both projects.
Wearing the Premier's ragtag extremist label as a badge of honour,
we have cracked 13,500 signatures on our petition to investigate the maladministration of this government when it comes to the Adelaide Parklands.
The petition calls for work on the proposed MotoGP circuit to be halted and for parts of the parklands used for the North Adelaide golf course to be returned to City Council control.
It is not too late for the government to change their mind, to change direction and save hundreds and hundreds of our trees.
The redevelopment of the North Adelaide golf course is something that the Labor government took to the election and Labor were re-elected.
The government says trees required for the golf course itself have already been removed, and for the proposed MotoGP circuit, initial estimates are around 45 significant trees, while the final design is still being refined to minimise tree loss.
Parliament's entitled to do what Parliament sees fit, but again, the government also is entitled to do what we think is in the best interest of South Australia.
The The petition will be tabled when Parliament resumes in mid-August. Campaigners believe they'll have enough support in the Legislative Council to establish an inquiry.
We're calling on the government to halt any further works on the North Adelaide Golf Course or MotoGP while this parliamentary inquiry does its work.
Jonathan Edwards, 7 News.
Hollywood legends Steven Spielberg and Nicole Kidman are leading tributes to Sam Neill as we learn more about his shock death. The 78-year-old was cancer-free but had recently battled pneumonia, an infection he couldn't shake.
Sam Neill knew how to be one of us because he was.
I don't know why that question has moved me so much, but it has.
At The Dish in central New South Wales, they knew him not as Cliff Buxton.
You'll be able to hear Armstrong talking to Houston?
Just by hitting a couple of buttons there.
But as the man who helped put Parkes on the map.
The Dishmaster, as they call him in the film, really put us in a good light in many ways.
Today they remembered him right around the world.
He was really an old dog that was just constantly looking for new tricks to learn.
Top billing at this Perth theatre tonight for the actor who just kept working.
Sam really was one of the most generous and important people to the Australian film and television community.
Nicole Kidman starred opposite Neill in Dead Calm. We met when I was just 18 and he took me under his wing, she said, and we stayed friends for life. From Jurassic Park co-star Laura Dern, he was a true noble gentleman, wrapped up in my dream leading man. Director Steven Spielberg called him exceptionally collaborative, perhaps because Sam Neill shunned the Hollywood life for the real world, his New Zealand vineyard and his family. Ex-partner Laura Tingle today revealing he might have been cancer-free, but Sam was sick.
Everybody who loved him has been willing him on from near and far, but I think it was just a bit too much to recover from one more time.
Friends say he had pneumonia. In April, Sam had been soldiering on at Sydney's Anzac concert.
Our nation mourns for her dead across the sea.
His words, that voice, this man.
All your life.
Intrinsically part of the Australian story. Hugh Whitfield, 7 News.
The opposition slammed the state government for failing to phase out room sharing in 2 public hospital psychiatric wards. The chief psychiatrist last week revealed dual occupancy will continue at the Noarlunga and Queen Elizabeth hospitals.
Because there's simply nowhere else for them to go because the system is at absolute breaking point.
The idea would be that when we have an extension of a hospital or a new build, the rooms will actually become single rooms.
6 years ago, a coronial inquest recommended room sharing in psychiatric wards be banned. That was following the 2014 murder of Stephen Barton by his roommate at Noarlunga Hospital. South Australian birdwatchers are being called on to help track the spread of the deadly H5 virus. A new partnership with the government will train volunteers to spot early warning signs and strengthen the state's response.
We've seen the experts patrol Australia's coastline searching for signs of H5 bird flu. Now that effort's expanding here with the state's birdwatching community set to play a key role.
Who will be able to be extra eyes on the ground, extra expertise.
And extra experience. The state government joining forces with Conservation Council SA, Birds SA and BirdLife Australia, providing volunteers with specialised training to help contain the emerging threat.